Shy Bro, Father James with Father Hank,
Hey.
Kevin Gregus.
Hey! He's gone mobile.
Kevin's in the car, and John Rahimi
Hello.
is with us again, and Lee Noel is back with us.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, all right, so we're here to talk about the very confusing movie Tenet. I'm going to take a back seat because I saw it once. I had no idea what was going on, but Christopher Nolan 2020 film, correct?
Yes.
About time,
Yes.
sort of. So, guys, have at it. This is your domain.
Wow.
So it's like a battle royale between Hank and John, I think, at this point. Because Kevin, you would say you're kind of in my camp with you have no idea what.
Yeah, I still don't know. We really should have Rob Ryan on, I think. Hank
Rob-
knows nothing.
Yeah, Deacon
Thanks,
Rob
Kev.
Ryan. Yeah. Deacon
Drive
Ro-
safe, buddy.
Lee, how about you? Where do you fall on the Tenet camp? Did you understand what was going on in the movie?
I don't understand is a strong term for
Yeah.
what I
Nice.
was doing when I was watching the movie, but I think by the end I just enjoyed trying to make some connections with implications in the spiritual life, and that's what Rob and I were talking about a
Beautiful.
little bit too.
So let's get that. But
table
real
that.
quick,
Okay.
for the people that haven't seen it, John or Hank, can one of you give just a quick, quick synopsis of the film?
Synopsis.
Okay, quick synopsis. There is a evil Russian guy who has. How do you explain this movie? Oh my gosh!
So it starts off as a simple action movie. There's the protagonist, and there's
His name
a
is
threat.
protagonist.
His name is protagonist. Thank you. And he's going through the trial of there's an evil boss lord that has money, and he's got this doomsday thing, and he got recruited by this special agency. But as the movie keeps going, the whole time travel aspect interferes, and everyone's just kind of thrown off. And
So basically, like, time can go forward, time can go backward, and there's a machine that allows that to happen. And the protagonist is trying to stop the evil Russian guy from ending the world. That's a short synopsis.
right,
Okay.
short version.
A very short.
And I think the best way to preface a deeper conversation is with a question. Like,
Gosh, I don't even know
what
what
question
to ask.
should we
I
try
don't
to ask?
know what I don't know. Well, Lee, what was you said?
Yeah,
you had
spiritual
some good
insights.
spiritual conversation about it.
Well, just the immediate things that came to my mind were what damage you can do when you try to control your life too much. It seemed like they were trying to control time and in the future and in the past, and they weren't letting go of any possibilities that could happen outside of their control. And I thought, oh wow, like I try to be very controlling every day in my life rather than just trusting and letting God kind of work in that. And even towards the end of the movie, without spoiling it, it seemed like there was still an opportunity for there to be control, and then when they tried to control it, more chaos seemed to happen. And the less they controlled it, it's like, oh, okay, kind of bury this stuff and let us live in the present. That's kind of like the very surface level of me just kind of thinking about it without...
Yeah,
reviewing
but
it
so
too much.
it's not like you're Back to the Future,
No.
Terminator time travel. What makes this different kind of time? Not really time travel.
I think part of it because they use this concept that I haven't seen before of time travel is literally moving backwards. So you become inverted by this machine. And so someone who's inverted in time, to them they're moving like at normal pace, but they see the world as completely inverted. So birds fly backwards, cars drive backwards, everything's going slow. You're not shooting a bullet, right? You're catching the bullet and stuff. If something. But if you're moving forward and you see someone inverted, then they're moving backwards and stuff.
Right. So what's interesting is that there's a line at the end of the movie that one of the characters says to the main character about something, it's faith in the mechanics of the world, which isn't an excuse to do nothing. So in relation to what you were talking about, Lee, about like right control, there is this sort of tendency or line that people can throw out there with when thinking about God that, oh, God already knows everything, so what's the point of me like doing anything? I can't change it, so like, it's just going to happen. And I think that line the guy says it's not an excuse to do nothing, because the whole inversion time travel thing is basically saying whatever has happened has happened. So you can't really go and change anything. It's always going to really like play out the same way. If you shoot the bullet, you're catching the bullet in the other version. So there's a relationship of cause and effect there. But either way, it's just for us to say that we have a certain amount of control in our lives, and we need to like exercise it to follow the Lord's will. It's not an excuse just to kind of sit back and check out of life.
What is the protagonist ultimately trying to do? Is he trying to save the world?
Yes.
Why? How's the world that's like threatened in the movie?
So, correct me if I'm wrong, John. Now, the whole basis of their time travel thing was developed by a scientist in the future with his algorithm, and she literally made a hard copy of it into mechanical parts. There's a sci-fi element, and she tried to bury it in the past. But the idea was that if the evil guy gets a hold of the algorithm, he was going to invert it so that the entropy, which is, even though they're time traveling, things are going backwards, things are going forward, the forward procession of time overall was going to win out. But reversing the algorithm by the enemy was going to reverse the entropy, so that actually everything from the future was going to move backwards into the past, changing the overall flow of time, if that makes sense.
And that would destroy the cosmos?
That would destroy the past. So the beginning of everything, quote unquote, would be the future that survives, because now, like,
The past is gone.
the past is gone, and now they're moving backwards into... They kind of put it on the whole basis of the environment, whereas you get rid of all the people in the past. What's all that's left are the people in the future, and now they're moving through the environment backwards, so that the Earth is getting younger and there's less global warming. Ta-da! So if you... Yeah. But let's just focus
It's
on...
only not that long, though, right? It's only 6,000 years.
Oh, hi, Kevin.
Is it, like, could that possibly be what eternity is?
No.
Why?
Well, define what you're thinking of eternity.
Well, eternity is no time,
Right?
and in a way, like, this is progression and regression combining together, so it's just this constant state of movement, but there's no movement.
Well, there
You always keep going back, right? So, by the way, is it like, what's the, Ryan was saying, what's the thing that's Tenet?
Seder Square.
Okay,
Seder
so explain
Square.
what a Seder Square is.
Now
In the
it's
movie
nuts.
Tenet is a palindrome.
I don't know if it actually matters that
No,
much.
it
It's
doesn't
just
matter
it's
that
just
much?
for
Okay.
It's an Easter egg.
it's a palindrome thing, and the movie is a palindrome. Things are coming from both sides,
Yeah. It's 5 words in Latin that
Yeah.
form a palindrome, and it's a square.
and you just use the names to name things in the movie, so
Okay.
it doesn't really matter.
But there's like basically how many things going on in the movie, like story, isn't it
all
like
intertwined.
6 or 7?
It's
6
all
or 7 threads.
Yeah.
Maybe
You
I
can
don't
say.
like that.
I don't know, but I think
Anyway.
the eternity thing, like time, I don't think it works because like time has to exist in the movie, and eternity's outside of time. But like, even if you're going backwards, you still have to go through sequentially what happened. It's not like you can just like jump over things. You have to live through it all. So if you wanted to go back 30 years, you got to live 30 years backwards. So
Yeah.
I think what's interesting to go back into the spiritual point and the whole point of like fate,
Yeah.
but goodwill, and you still have to do
Mhm.
good, is that even though the enemy could go back in time and change things, quote unquote, right? Neil says what's happened has happened. And with that point, even in a movie world, what's happened is that Christ has conquered evil. So even though the evil guy has access over time travel, he still fails. Good still overcomes it. No matter how many times you try to change things, ultimately a principle to follow in the mechanics of the world now is that evil has been overcome by good. And if we follow good and we follow the virtues, the mechanics of the world and God's providence will be at our side.
Hank's 2 for 2.
I like
Okay.
that.
All right. Wow. So you liked it.
I
Father
loved
Hank.
it.
Yeah. John, you.
I want to watch it again. Father Hank and I had a good conversation a couple weeks ago about it. I haven't seen it since we had that conversation, so I would like to watch it again.
Okay. Lee.
I also liked it.
Okay.
Really enjoyed it.
Man, I guess I have to watch it again.
Yeah.
But yeah.
I don't like it very much.
Kevin didn't. Kevin said he
you're
didn't.
breaking up. You must be going through a tunnel.
Kevin didn't like it very much, but it's worth a watch. It's such a unique movie, and I don't know. Maybe we can do another one on it. And more spiritual thoughts, just like we need to watch it multiple times. Maybe we need to do multiple podcasts on it,
Oh.
or not. Anyways, yeah. Happy watching. God bless.
Peace.